lights are flashing. Everyone is standing, holding their breath. There's less than a second on the clock, and the ball is flying through the air. The ball goes through the hoop, and everyone cheers. The game is over. The upset of the tournament has happened, and let's be honest, your brackets are busted. As you all know, right now, March Madness is upon us. As someone who is an avid college basketball fan, and someone who has run several large bracket pools and tournaments, I decided to share a few tips on how to fill out a winning bracket today. Now, many will tell you that when filling out a winning bracket, it's a lot of luck. With these 3 tips I give today, you'll swing the odds in your favor. As Eduardo Macedo said, luck doesn't exist, it's only a statistical chance. The first tip I have is to trust the experts. There's a reason these guys are experts. They've been doing this for years. They played the game, they've coached the game, they've watched all of the games. They've broken down each individual statistic. They have statistical analysis to predict these matchups, and that's where they get the seedings and rankings from. These guys have been doing it for years, and it's been proven. They get paid to do this, and anyone who gets paid to do something obviously does it well. The biggest debate people have about the experts, though, is the people complaining about the ranking and seeding. Obviously, this is an improvement process. It changes every year. They're what they want to see in a team to get into the team tournament. But the reason they're really good at choosing the seeds and putting them where they need to be. I have some statistics here to back this up. For example, the lowest seed to ever win the tournament was an 8 seed, which is pretty low, but pretty middle of the round. And then actually the 1 seed has won it 22 times in the past 40 years. So it means the experts obviously got it right there in picking who the best team was. So in my opinion, it's always better to go with the higher ranked teams as much as possible. Now obviously there are upsets. And my opinion on upsets is to be a minimalist when choosing upsets in your bracket. Choose as few as possible. I'd say 3 or 4 is probably a good option. It's impossible to choose every upset because we can't predict everything. So when choosing an upset, just do so wisely. Don't mess your bracket up if you choose too many, because you want to choose the advantage. That's what the experts have chosen that for. The advantage. The higher seeds have the advantage. The second tip I have, my statistics on this back this up as well. Some upsets that you might want to choose. The most common upset to occur is the 5 and the 12 seed, and the 6 and the 11 seeds. Actually, in recent history, the 5 and the 12 seed is about a 50-50 game. The 12 seed is just as likely to beat the 5 as the 5 is to beat the 12. So that's a good upset pick to have if you plan on choosing one. The least common upset picks are the 1 and the 16 and the 2 and the 15. In the history of the tournament, the 16 seed has never beat a 1 seed. So that's obviously not a good pick to have. On the other hand, the 15 and the 2 seed is still a good pick. Although the 15 seed has beat the 2 seed a handful of times, it's still not a good upset to have because it very rarely happens. And now the third and final tip I have, and probably the most important, is to be a subjective fan. Just because you like a team doesn't mean that they will do well in the tournament. I'm definitely not trying to say to not be a fan of your team and to root and have a good time, because that's what March Madness is all about, being a fan, being a fanatic, and following your team. But just because you like a team doesn't mean they're going to do well. If your favorite team is a 15 seed, they're probably not going to beat a 2 seed or go very far. But if your favorite team's a 1 seed, you can statistically move them forward. So I'm just saying, just try and take your fandom out of it. If your team has a bad matchup and there's a lower seed, they might not win. And if you're trying to really win a bracket challenge, then you need to take that into account. And in conclusion, to sum all this up, as Steve Danley once said, they call it March Madness. They don't call it March, the 2 seeds advance, right? And it truly is madness. This is the best time of the year for sports fans. It'll cause you much pain and joy watching the games, the upsets, the passion. What will cause you better joy, what will give you more joy, is these tips and winning your brackets. With my 3 tips, you will certainly have a better chance at winning your brackets and having bragging rights over your fan or over your friends, your coworkers, etc. and you have all the pride in the world. So that's it for today. Thank you. My feet in the video? That's all that matters. That's good enough.
You need to get us the second time? Like, no, so we didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.